Like an egg and a chicken. Which one comes first? Does forex trading itself bring about depression? Does it bring anxiety disorders? Or is it that these people already have anxieties and have depression, so that now when they trade, these symptoms become worse? So anxiety is one of the mental illnesses with physical manifestation. I think it has more physical manifestations than most of the other mental illnesses. So some of those things that you can see with people with anxiety disorders, one of them is there's lack of sleep. Number two, you may have palpitations, lack of sleep, lack of appetite. You may worry a lot. You might also start having symptoms such as nausea and vomiting that come to those people with severe anxiety disorders. There are several anxiety disorders that can also affect people, but in this context we want to relate anxiety disorder and generally mental health with forex trading. Some people say that if you have depression, maybe you have major depressive disorder, or you have a high likelihood of being depressed, that you cannot be a trader, because trading is a high mental demanding activity that would want you to be always in a good positive state of mind, a mind for a winner that can be able to engage with the markets. So I've not seen so much maybe met people discussing their own mental issues forex trading, but I can share a story, one or two of my own, that can affect how someone trades. So I'll leave to you to decide for yourselves whether it is possible for someone with an anxiety disorder, or someone with a depressive disorder, or someone with any other mental illness, if they can trade. And if anyone has those, how then can they come around and even still trade with such kind of things? And also we can look at it the other way around, like an egg and a chicken. Which one comes first? Does forex trading itself bring about depression? Does it bring anxiety disorders? Or is it that these people already have anxieties and have depression, so that now when they trade, these symptoms become worse? So I have a story that I think that was 2020 when I started realizing that I was starting to get a bit more anxious as a trader. That time I was also undergoing my medical internship. It's such a rigorous program, especially in Kenya, where it's a high tension 1 year, a whole year of high tension. So that time also I was getting a little bit more money than what I was getting as a student. So I also wanted to go on into trading and do live trading, though I had not even backtested enough to have a working system or a working strategy. So at that time I thought that maybe if I had more money, then I'd be having more cushion, and maybe somehow I can be able to trade profitably. So I took some trades. I loaded my account with I think $450, maybe $500 thereabout, and started taking some trades. Initially off the bat I was profitable. If you can remember very well, 2020 was the time of COVID and gold was to the roof. It was around August and gold was bullish. Gold was going to new highs, the all-time highs. So I was enjoying that bull run. So I think that same day that I took the trade, that week I took those trades, I was up $700 on that account, and I was excited. I was adding more positions over and over. I think I didn't define when to trade or when not to trade, so I was just adding positions on gold. Though I was also a member of one of the mentorship programs. So I think it's called TTA, Trend Trade Academy, by Joe and JTech Profits. So in their charts, they were not projecting, they're not giving us setups on gold, they're giving setups maybe mostly on GBP pairs. But myself, I was more inclined to gold because gold was moving. And I even remember one of the trainers there saying that they can't really tell where gold is going, so they're not going to trade gold. But for me, because I was making money out of it, I kept trading gold. So I kept buying even without doing my analysis well. So one of these days in the night, I think I was buying gold, and it just started tanking down. Of course, when it tanks, you look at it as if it's just a small retracement. So instead of cutting short the losers and maybe running with the bearish trend, I started adding more buys. So just adding more buys, adding to my losers, hoping that fortunately I might have a reversal on that short that it goes back to buys and I make big profits on it. And then I think also because I was used to trading way smaller accounts, $100, $60, $200 to the maximum. My account was above $700. I wanted it to go to $1,000. So somehow I thought that this account is big enough. Maybe it could cushion me to win off those negative trades and maybe turn out to be positive. But this was not the case. So I was forced, I think, later into the night, I was forced to close those trades with very big negatives. I think I closed it below $300 from that high of 700, and you can imagine I was devastated. I was alone that night. I was in a small room and I slept. Into my sleep, interestingly, I think I had panic attacks because I had what looked like a nightmare. I just found myself running around the room, and I think I woke up grabbing the grills to the door, just on the top corner of the door, palpitating, sweating, confused. I didn't know how I reached that place, and of course this had happened once earlier on in life, but not to this magnitude. So I think even going to the hospital the following day to work, talking with my doctor friends, and measuring my pulse rate at that time. I think my pulse was nearing the 100 mark. When my baseline pulse had always been around 60s, and talking about my sudden anxieties and sometimes sunkenness in my heart and sometimes mild chest pains that I used to have. And I remember my friend telling me that he also used to have the same symptoms. Of course, it was difficult to differentiate whether it was mainly from the rigorous internship or it was Forex trading that was giving me this. But for me, I think I can relate it more to Forex because the kind of rotation that I was going through that time was in mental unit, and for us mental unit is quite relaxed. I had done more crazier shifts in OBGYN and even surgery shifts, and I had not reached the point of such breakdowns. I used to have what maybe it could even be a PTSD. Whenever my phone rang, I could get these anxiety panic attacks, but short ones. But in this case, it was not about my phone. I had just been trading and I lost a ton of money, and I could put 1 + 1 and see that the commonest, what would have led to this effect might have been the trading. And later on, I also started realizing that anytime I was about to take a trade, I think the weeks following that week, I encouraged myself and told myself that I'm going to try to build that small account to make it higher. And every time I wanted to take a trade, I could find myself getting anxious. My heart could race, even if the trade looked so good, the setup looked so good, but my heart could race. I could have some sort of slight chest pain here and there. I could start feeling some sweaty feeling under my axilla, and such kind of things were keeping happening. And anytime I was maybe in a small profit, I would cut it short. And looking back, really, I can definitely say that this was purely from this was actually anxiety, which is one of the mental issues that people get from trading. I think connecting with the same, by then my girlfriend then also had complained of almost the same thing. For her, the problem she had with Forex is that every time I lost money, my mood was bad. We could not have any fun times with her because I was always either stressed out or wanted to sleep or just not interested in any talks or anything fun. So looking at those experiences that I had for myself, I could easily point and say that they were induced by Forex trading. And so of course the question is, do I stop trading or do I learn to cope with these things? So of course the answer is both yes and no. It depends with your situation and how passionate you are with trading, and the decision is always yours to make. But I still feel, having gone through those processes and still stuck with trading to this day, I still feel that someone with such anxieties or such mental illnesses could still go ahead and start trading. In the internet, if you look around, even common figures, people like Michael the ICT, I think one of the videos he also says that he has bipolar, and he knows how to control his emotions, he knows how to behave in the market, and he's been able to make his money. Another common trader that I think I've talked about, that has also talked about his mental health openly, is Nick Shawn. And Nick Shawn also said that he used to have anxiety disorders and sometimes having panic attacks, and he has also grown to somewhat manage himself through his own ways, maybe through I think for him he talks about meditating, and he also is a good fan of cigars. He loves cigars to maybe cool him down. So I think traders can choose for themselves how they cope with their mental issues. But if you notice your mental health going to the negative side as a trader, I think it's somewhere to pay attention to, close attention in fact, so that in the pursuit of profits in the field of trading, you don't end up losing your mental health. Also, there are others that might already have mental issues and they come into trading. I think it's also good to know, it's not a warning, but it's a good to know that it's a place they need to put a bit more emphasis to see how they can cope with the markets, because the markets they do not have their what we call their euthymic in terms of the emotional state. The market is not emotional, so it will hurt you. It is you that will interpret that hurt. It is you that will interpret that fear, or that rage, or that anxiety, or that depressive state from the same actions that you project into the market.